I am Kim Tracy with the Maxwell James Speaker Agency, here with Bob Tipton. How are you doing today?
Life is great, Kim. Thanks.
This is going to be a good video, you guys. Bob is going to be talking about what's right, not who's right, a simple formula to stop the world's madness.
Yeah, there you go. A simple formula to stop the world's madness. How's that? You know, this notion that of being right, it creates all kinds of problems in the world, and it has for centuries. It seems like we've reached a bit of an epidemic stage at this point in the world where it's no longer just an annoying thing where people will debate and discuss and maybe go home and be upset for a while. It's become systemic. It's become cultural, and it's been brewing really for the last few years, especially coming to a head here in the United States when you think about the political situation we find ourselves in. So people are taking some pretty extreme measures to talk about who's right as opposed to what's right, and I think our politics are starting to suffer as a result. And you know, the end game here is that we're actually losing our humanity. We're losing the sense that we're all in this together and we share this little blue ball in the middle of space, and we have some challenges associated with that. So political infighting and greed and family dysfunction, and even taken it to an extreme, we have things like terrorism and, you know, this notion, regardless of your politics, but a charity baseball team practice in Alexandria, Virginia, ends up with an elected official being shot and sent to the hospital. That just should be unacceptable in our culture, and it doesn't seem to be that way so much. So anyway, imagine this, we've taken a counterculture approach to this whole subject, and in the work that we do, helping organizations move forward and teams move forward, we try to help them realize this debate about who's right isn't productive. And let's get them shifted around to think about the notion of what's right. So getting to the art of what's right, that's the challenge, the associated back and forth and so on. But here's something that really helps move people in that direction. What connects us as opposed to what separates us? What can we look at as being similar as opposed to being dissimilar? Now, this isn't exactly the kind of stuff we do in our work, but I remember reading a book several years ago, and it kind of took the major religions of all things of the world and stacked them up on top of each other. So it took the things that they believe at their core, the things that they really stand for, and it stacked them all up like a layer cake. And then it turned the whole thing on its head, and then you look through it this way. And the thing that was just extraordinary about this is the similarity. There's stuff on the outside, the fringes and so on, that we can debate, but the reality of it is every culture on earth has some version of the golden rule. All of them. Well, that's one of those basic truths. It's true somewhere, it's true everywhere, and I think there's a lot more of that's the case with people, is that we share far more. So anyway, we get into these workshops and settings and so on with leadership teams, and there's some really smart people. My favorite two groups to work with, by the way, in this respect, are three groups really: doctors, lawyers, and PhDs, professors. Those are my favorites. And the reason they're my favorites is these three groups of individuals tend to be highly educated, really intelligent, and successful if you look at the measures of success that most people do. The problem is they take their small little thing and they think it extends to everything. So here's how I start these meetings. I say, you know, we're going to take the situation seriously, but not ourselves, really. And I don't really care about your education. I don't care about your position on the org chart. I don't care how much money you make or how long you've worked here. If you're not applying it to what's right, it's irrelevant. Now they look at me with this stunned facial expression like, well, this is going to be a different meeting. This won't be the same as it's always been. Well, what happens when people operate from that viewpoint is they, even for just a minute for some of them, they consider someone else's perspective. Even for a moment, they might humanize the person that they're working with. They may be willing to see a different viewpoint and put their position to the side. So The art, and we'll talk about this in other videos later, but the art of getting to what's right starts with the realization that it's time not to take ourselves so seriously and take the situation that we're in seriously. So there you go. Let's focus on what's right, not who's right.
Perfect. If you would like to bring Bob in for one of his amazing keynotes or workshops, contact me through maxwelljames.net. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Cam.